So, very good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, I welcome today's resource person for this afternoon session. Also, the guest of honor for our valedictory function, which is scheduled at 4:30. Professor Ajit Thete, sir, who is Honorable Vice Chancellor of one of the prestigious private university in Maharashtra, that is JSPM University. A person with a vast teaching and research experience, administrative experience, have been associated with various uh, academic institutions for their accreditation purpose and implementation of NEP. So, on behalf of this entire group, I welcome Professor Ajit Thete, sir, to this afternoon session, and I would now hand over the session to him. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Rafe, sir. Director of HRDC, Dr. Professor Dhanashri Mahajan, ma'am, Abdul Rafe, sir, all faculty members. First of all, I express apology for joining delay because of my some previous meetings. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Participants have been muted, sir. So they
Okay,
can
good.
reply.
They won't. Yeah, fine. So I know and understand and have been experiencing the role of HRDC, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. Really, they are doing excellently well. And I understand this is the 37th program on sensitization and orientation of the National Education Policy 2020. By this time, I understand that every one of you who have joined for this today's program, they have started implementing the National Education Policy 2020. But as we experience the National Education Policy initiatives and the curriculum which is designed, ultimately for the teacher like you and me, for both of us, we realize that we need to work with a different spirit, and we have to adopt different strategies so that the sole purpose of these new initiatives will be fruitful. Just to narrate and to just to let you know that previously, since my experience in the field of education is of last 42 years, I have seen the different policies. I remember I started my journey as a teacher when there was a first education policy, which was there based on the 1968 policy. Okay. Then came in 1986 first education policy, uh, and that was again a program of action in 1988. Thereafter, there was a one more commission, National Knowledge Commission, under the chairmanship of Sam Pitroda. So I have seen, and not only seen, but I have been working in the different policy initiatives taken by Government of India for the effective, efficient, and quality education, including higher education. Every time we used to see that, we used to say that there is something lacking, wherein there is no freedom for the teachers, no freedom for the institute in the implementation of the curriculum as such. But then, when the NEP 2020 have come into the role, had been started implementing, we got answer to many of our doubts, many of our requirement to fulfill in the real world of work. And as you know that, because of that, our curriculum has been implemented or has been designed to meeting the requirement of the world of work. My dear friends, now I understand today is the last day of your this sensitization orientation program. By this time, you had been already exposed to the have been introduced to the different concept, different policy initiative, and different strategies for the implementation. I'm going to share with you my views through two different presentations. So let me allow to share my one of the presentation first, and then we will go with my next presentation or next part of the presentation as such. I will just open my file, and then we'll talk on the different parts wherein I really want to share with you the benefits or how we can work and take the benefits of the National Education Policy 2020. Now, as you have seen, while going through the different aspects of the NEP 2020, to me and you, a very common issue is that how NEP can use for the successful employment and entrepreneurship. So, in this faculty sensitization session for the university teacher, those who are working in the affiliated institute, as well as they are working in the universities under different program, today's my focus is on how we can take the benefit of NEP 2020 and how really it will help us for the successful employment. Very important point, which many of you know, that the employment, because ultimately student taking opting for higher education, they are looking for the employment, or they want some goals to be achieved in their life, either as an entrepreneur or as a successful employment. Some of the students are also interested in doing research, doing innovations, and of course to work in the different domains of work. So, as I said to you, the earlier educational policies, India's first education policy, 1968, which was based upon the Kothari Commission report, which was submitted to Government of India, the then Government of India. Then came in 1980 new education policy, which was further has been well crafted and been worked. But as I said to you earlier, the some of the issues were not addressed in those policy which were implemented earlier. And now you will find NEP 2020 is giving us a way to successful employment and entrepreneurship. Let us see one by one how we can take the benefit of the policy initiatives of NEP 2020 and also properly understand the curriculum or design the implementation strategies, having given the freedom by the curriculum and NEP 2020 policy. That is my major agenda, which I'll be sharing with you in my first presentation. I need not say, but as you know very well, education is not just about literacy, but about imparting knowledge and skills relevant for an evolving job market and for good citizenship. And this is the spirit of National Education Policy 2020. So we all teachers, I understand many of you are working in different demography. Some of you are from the tribal area, some of you are from the rural area, some are from semi-urban area, some are from the metro cities. Even when you are teaching your institution, you are addressing students from different faculties, humanities, science and technology, business management and commerce, and related to different programs. So, one thing as a teacher, as national education policy has once again given significance and importance to the teacher roles, we must understand, my dear professor, that education is not just about literacy. No, we want to is about imparting knowledge and skills relevant for evolving job market and for good citizenship. And I think on this theme, on this code, we need to work and we have to prepare every graduate to create a job and not to just seek the job. This is very important responsibility on all of you. I know even we, when we graduated, when we post graduated, or even those who have got the PhD degrees, you know that how we are striving for getting the job and how others are, your friends, your students, how they are striving for the job. Then why not to take the benefit of NEP 2020, where platform is available for making these things to happen. So that's why in this today's session, I'm going to focus on few points. What is the vision and need for NEP 2020, which already you have discussed to some extent. I will quickly focus on to that. Why India needed a new education policy after almost 34 years. Then what are the structural and curricular reforms? You will find in our curriculum, there is a multidisciplinary learning, there is a flexibility, there is a credit, mobility is possible. You can take an exit after first year, you'll get certificate. Second year, you'll get diploma. That all you must have seen. Then what is the employment readiness focus of the NEP 2020? That is how you'll find the vocationalization of education, skilling, internship, all these, even we have gone for ABC credit also. So how we are making curriculum, how we are making NEP 2020, which will focus on employment readiness focus. Even because of the NEP 2020, we are giving emphasis on incubation, entrepreneurship, startup, and even we are government of India and industries supporting higher education institution for entrepreneurship ecosystem. Fifth point is research and industry linkages. Obviously, earlier also we used to have a research and industry linkages, but in NEP 2020, in the curriculum itself, through the experiential learning, through the internships, through industry-based project, we are going to get the opportunity for more and more research and industry linkages. And in this background, obviously, the role of teacher has changed. Role of teacher has changed. So, it means to say, I mean to say, my dear professors, that when NEP, when we have a lot of discussion, lot of seminars, lot of webinars, such type of sensitization programs are happening, curriculums are being designed, many more books and learning materials developed. Ultimately, we have to see that what is the role of teacher and how this curriculum or NEP policy can address these community social issues through our curriculum and teaching as such. So why really we want to go for new education policy? I will not on the old system. I will not focus more on the old system, but you will find NEP 2020, which is on your right side on your camera or your laptop or your mobile, multidisciplinary, and holistic education. So now, if I have a only degree of say arts or commerce or science, where there is no multidisciplinary approach, then my employment opportunity are minimized. But when multidisciplinary approach is in the curriculum, and not only that, to have a holistic development, you know that only knowledge is not important. You also require skills, you require attitudes. As we used to say that the teaching or learning happens in three domains of learning. The intellectual abilities are developed in cognitive domain. The skilling part, the competency parts are developed in the psychomotor domain, brain directed motion. And in the affective domain, you develop the emotional intelligence among the students, empathy, humanity, integrity, honesties, values, and ethics. So, to become successful in entrepreneurship and employment, equally requires a holistic development. So, why did India need a new education policy? Because the previous policies were not addressing multidisciplinary requirement and the holistic development, which we as a teacher now we have to read between the lines in our curriculum and we have to start imparting into that. Second aspect is a vocational exposure for every student, that too from school. Now there is a link between school education and higher education institution and their education curriculum. So the vocationalization approach has been developed from school, and there are school specific, even different standards. The vocational education is given to the students so they can envision future career prospects for them. And when they come to higher education, we provide them vocational enable courses in which they can develop into that. Then there is a dedicated push in entrepreneurship and incubation. Different programs and different schemes which are being implemented at university level and institute level, at a national level, at state level, is development of incubation. And that's why you will find lot of hackathons are happening, lot of innovation type of the conferences, seminars, and competitions are happening. And there is a special scheme for incubating the business ideas. And these are irrespective of which are the different students coming from. They may be from humanities, I say business and commerce, or science and technology. So there is a dedicated push into that. Another aspect of the education policy 2020 is Skill India and industry integration in curriculum. And this has been possible in all domains. Again, I'm telling you, in humanity, in commerce, and even in science and technology. Skilling, we know that. You know that whatever curriculum you are implementing, there is a component of skill enhancement courses. There is a scope for, there are credit for experiential learning, there are credit for even internship, and this entire curriculum is designed based on the outcome based education approach. And herein, irrespective of the domain of education, we have brought in Skill India and we have brought in industry integration into the curriculum. This is one of the uniqueness of the our program, our NEP 2020. And even to reach our target, to find the global needs, we also decided to go for targeting the gross enrollment ratio to the 50% by 2035. Right now, we are approaching around 30% of students are opting for higher education. A curriculum is designed, the skill and vocational education is brought into the curriculum, the industry alliance has been made, internship is provided, so that the basic purpose is that students should feel that higher education is beneficial to them. So we need to understand the curriculum which we are developed. It should be implemented, it should be properly propagated, that how curriculum components are going to be beneficial for the students, those who are taking higher education, for employment, for entrepreneurship, and then only student will get attracted to the higher education. My previous experience says that because of rigidity, which is not there now in present curriculum under NEP 2020, flexibility is there. There is a word touch, that connect is being established, and student can select courses of their own choice, and because of that there is now huge potential for student to register for the higher education. So that target also we need to meet. And obviously one more, there are many more uh, advantage of NEP 2020, but to just say, research culture built through the National Research Foundation. Long back, I remember when I was in school days, I'm going long back, that time honors program used to be offered. But now even graduate student, BA, BCom, BSc student can go for a honors degree, fourth year degree, with a honors program or a research. The purpose of all these things is that, my dear professor, in every domain of education, we need to develop a research culture, a innovation, entrepreneurship. These are very important, and that is also why this a national research foundation has been established, so that proper funding can be done. So this is understand. So in the light of my topic, I'm just trying to put before you to the different purposes, the context. Why did India need a new education policy? And these are the agenda items. And we as a teacher, we should find some time. We should make a deliberation at program level, or at institute level, or at taluka, district, university level, that how we can utilize this curriculum, utilize the NEP policy initiatives to enhance employment and entrepreneurship. We know today's picture of employment, of course, it is now you'll find a good picture as compared to the previous one, but still we need to work more onto that. I'm not focusing on what was in the past, my focus is in what is there into future. And hence, the foundational pillars of NEP 2020, which you must have studied or must have been gone through, is access, reaching every learner everywhere. Because of academic bank of credit, it has made very easy. Okay, because of flexible curriculum. Then equity, ensuring no student is left behind. How it is being happened? It is being happened in such a way that, because we know there are some students, there are some population, they are unable to get full time in higher education. And that's why we provided the flexibility. Student can come, take admission in the higher education, study for 1 year, take exit, go and work to fulfill their personal and family needs. They will be certificate will be granted to them. Again, they can come back, go for diploma, and so on. So equity is very important. We know underprivileged students community are unable to take admission to higher education because they have their own problems, economic problem, social problems. And that is why when we will give them access and will we maintain equity so that they will also feel that we now can take higher education. Then quality of education. Globally, now when we talk benchmarks outcomes, as I said you sometime before, the outcome based education approach which is there because of the teaching strategies like experiential learning, skill based learning, vocational training, internship, and multidisciplinary approach and holistic development, our quality of higher education has enhanced, and that we all need to properly comprehend and start implementing. I know sometimes it takes, more discussions and deliberation to understand the purpose of the curriculum, but now we have gone a long way. We are marching towards Vikasit Bharat 2047, and at this juncture we have to see that how do we really require. As I said, you last policy was 34 years before, and after 34 years, in 2020, the new policy has come up focusing on the quality education, and it's not focusing on quality education, is focusing on the population of our country, their abilities, and even the developmental goals for them. And that is why quality is one of the pillar into that. Then affordability. A quality education has to be within reach, and that's why we brought into that a flexibility into that. Even now, you know that there's a one affordability which will come is has been already introduced is a apprenticeship enabled undergraduate programs. So student while doing job can undergo higher education. Of course, there is a model. If it's a 3 year program, 1 year he has to be in institute, 2 year he can be in the business and industry. If he's a man of a commerce and management, he can be in industry or in chartered accountant. If he's a man of a science and technology, he can be in the industries. And if he's a man, a student of a humanities, he can work in different public organization. He can undergo the very much into the research work, research organization, and there are so many industries even related to the humanity here where they can work. So affordability has become a very important pillar of higher education. And even this, as I said you, the exit and entry, multiple exit and multiple entry has also given flexibility. So affordability has been increased about this is one of the pillar. And very importantly, the fifth pillar is accountability, a transparent, outcome driven system. Now we all have to will have to come out with the our conventional traditional teaching learning and assessment pattern, and we all need to get ourselves get up with the new outcome based education prospect, because there we are going to be now, you know that we will be measured the teacher performance, the institute performance, the university performance, the research performance. Everybody will be, everything will be assessed through the outcomes performance. and that is where we are going to be accountable for that, and that these are the five pillars on which we need to work. And since entrepreneurship and employment, as I told you, you will find in my subsequent slide what is the really employment trade as on today, but we need to work on to that and understand the NEP 2020, understand the curriculum based upon these five pillars of NEP 2020. Now, by 2025, now we are in 2026. At least 50% of learners shall have exposure to the vocational education. That is what we have focused on to that. And you will find we have not reached 50%. But when we talk about employment focus, NEP 2020 treats employability not an afterthought, but as a core design principle of higher education, owing the curriculum, credits, and campus culture. So, the purpose itself in the curriculum design has been made, which I mentioned you earlier, skill-based courses, vocational-based courses, value-based courses, experiential learning, internship, all these will contribute. So employment will definitely is going to rise provided we take the benefit of this curriculum and these policy initiatives as such. In the multidisciplinary education, which builds the employability, a flexible curriculum lets students combine skills employer actually looking for. And that is where choice-based credit system. So mixed disciplines are there. Computer science, psychology, design can go together, or economics, psychology, computer science can go together, or commerce and business management with psychology, with Python, they can go together. So it is a choice-based credit system, which is a multidisciplinary education which builds the employability. That we need to understand. Then 4 year multidisciplinary UG. So multiple entry and exit point, certificate to diploma, diploma to degree, and degree to degree with research or degree with honors. So across 4 year, this is possible for 4 year multidisciplinary education. So we have itself, we have itself. Now, for example, I'm doing economics. I'm doing economics, and now I want to go for 4th year of my program. 3 year bachelor is done. 4th year, I want to go for research. So my 4th year will be an honors or research. So economic student now, because of multidisciplinary education, can take research based on the application of Python or application of computer science in the economics, in developing different models, different softwares to address the economical issues as such. So likewise, we can work on to that particular task. So there is a multidisciplinary education, and we as a teacher, we have to implement the curriculum in that context. And the third aspect, which is very important, and now I think it is at a mature stage, is academic bank of credits. So, credits earned across institutions are stored digitally and transferred, enabling flexible and lifelong learning. Now, I am working at JSPM University Pune in the state of Maharashtra. We have number of examples. We give freedom to students to opt some courses from other institutions, other universities. And this is because if they learn from other universities, other institute, that credit, based upon the definition of the credit, will get accumulated and will be put in the academic bank of credits. So the multidisciplinary education, which will build the employability, has gone from choice-based credit system for going beyond the institution. But we need to understand the spirit of that. We need to understand how really we can implement these types of the model as such when we go into the aspect. Now, this is a vocational education scenario, which I told you sometime before. From margins to the mainstream. So how, as I told you, class 6 plus, from the class 6 plus, vocational education starts now, including internship. Students go in industry to learn. They go in business, banks, financial institution to learn related to their vocation. And by 2025, as we said, almost 50% students have gained the vocational education. Now, when we talk about NEP 2020, we want that we today we have less than 5% people, okay, which are really having the skill, which are related to their profession, that workforce we want to brought into the picture. So how universities or higher education can act onto that, embed skill and low vidya courses as credit bearing electives. When you design the curriculum, or whenever there is a possibility, you can embed Skill India or Lok Vidya courses as credit bearing electives. Then you can go mandatory hands on internship with local industries and medium, small, and micro industries. So you can work. If you are working in a rural area, you can catch hold of some micro level industries and you can give them learning experiences, or you can go little far and have a small scale industry where you can take the benefit. And doesn't mean that you should go to the place where there are medium industries are also there. So we as a teacher, ultimately it is you and me who have to work on this. Set up skill hubs and community engagement centers in our institution. It may be village, it may be a semi-urban taluka place, district place. Can we have even example commerce student? Can we have some sort of a mock banking happening in our institute, wherein my students those who are in first year and second year of commerce, they will just set up a community center through which they will help the village people or taluka people for banking service support. Example I'm giving, there could be a number of examples. So depending upon that, we can work on to this aspect. And also we have to focus more and more into the vocational of education, even through required by the academic bank of credit as such. And for that, our skill domain, which are emphasized in our NEP 2020, is technical and digital skills. Irrespective of the program, humanities, business management and commerce, science and technology, everyone must be digitally literate. And when I'm saying digitally literate, not only, sorry to say, for seeing the WhatsApp or reel making, no, in using the digital ecosystem in true sense for professional development. Even technical abilities like programming, automation, which is happening nowadays, communication skills. This is one of the area where the NEP focus on the curriculum of developing communication skill. It may be in any languages. In our GSPM University, now we have a English communication, we have started Japanese, now we are going to start French, and very recently, with Government of Maharashtra decision, we are now establishing School of Languages where even Marathi will be taught to the students, and we have developed a online app for learning and giving training to the students. So, because barring the language barrier, effective communication skills are very important. Design thinking, this skill which is being embedded in our NEP 2020. Again, when I'm saying all domains, I mean humanity, commerce and business management, science and technology, because I will not repeat this again and again. For every student, they required design thinking, a critical thinking, developing problem solving attitude, problem solving methodology, and solving complex problem, going towards innovations and entrepreneurship. And for that matter, very importantly, every student must know data and analytics. Again, I am providing you the example of our own university. In our university, JSPM University Pune, irrespective of the domains, whosoever learns in JSPM University Pune, the statistics course is mandatory. Artificial intelligence, fundamental of artificial intelligence is compulsory. And when we talk about statistics, we talk about data science and we talk about data analytics. So this we need to do in our curriculum so that our students become employable, they become an entrepreneur. Very importantly also, green skills, how we can have a sustainable environment, and that green skill is very important. How we can go with a green skills, and when I'm saying green skill, it talks more on sustainability part of that. So that also we need to promote into the our student as such. And obviously our NEP 2020 talks about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, global citizenship. Whatever value educations we are giving, whatever ethics we are developing, professional ethics, human ethics, all those value education, ethics, and the courses we are teaching them, the internship has been provided. That is only for our students should be there as a global citizen. Many of you must be knowing there's a huge demand for youngsters of India for different, not only skilling job but higher level job. In Germany, not only ITR, but engineering, science, commerce graduate, arts graduate are being demanded in different European countries, African countries. And we need to train. Actually, our education should go in a different way. Our classroom teaching should be minimized and be more with the work oriented teaching, life oriented teaching, career oriented teaching. And that's why we all teachers need to do lot of research, lot of exercise on working on to that. Internships are the bridge between classroom and career. Keep in mind. Now, here, can we use student in year 1 and 2, year 2 and 3, year 3 and 4, and after graduation, internships, apprenticeship is there. Again, I must tell you the example of JSPM University Pune, we follow all these four steps, all these four. And that's why I incorporated this in my presentation. In year 1 and 2, in the foundational courses, in the orientation internships are happening, field exposures are there. In the internship, in the first year only, we call industry people and we orient the student about their future career. Field visits are organized. And even there are certain courses which has got the bridge between classroom and career. In second year onwards, in every summer term, students are mandatory required to go for internship. It is not only for science and technology. This is for commerce and business management. This is for humanities. And this is for faculty of health science like pharmacy, forensic science. And our students go in different industries, businesses, organization to undergo a. And we have observed that has increased, enhanced the employability rate, even a confidence among the student, a fundamental understanding of the courses. And year 3 and 4, we have a scheme where student can go for full 1 year in industry. 4-year degree program, you go and do work in industry, do some project, we will give assign the credits. And going beyond that, we have a post degree apprenticeship linked with the placement that already we have practiced from day one. So, here, and again, I understand, my dear professor, as I told you in the very beginning, I know that you come from different demography, rural, semi urban, urban, metro cities, regional places, headquarters. Here in all, we have to make some efforts. We require a lot of collaboration, as I said you before, and we can work onto that. Earlier, we used to say that there is no provision in the curriculum, there is no policy as such, but now there is a policy, there is a curriculum for that, and we need to work onto that. So, our youth should become job created and not just job seekers. And this is one of the guiding philosophy behind NEP 2020 entrepreneurship provision. So from employment to entrepreneurship. Now, the earlier slide, my focus was more onto the employment. Now, employment and entrepreneurship. How is that? We need to sensitize about or get oriented about NEP 2020 policy and curriculum based on NEP 2020 so that we can enhance employment and entrepreneurship too. Now, how we can develop a entrepreneurship ecosystem in the institute? How we can build an entrepreneurial campus, and that is, I think, is very important for all of us. And I'm very happy to tell you, even nowadays I have seen in rural area many business have come up because of the digitalization, because of the urbanization to certain extent, and because of economic development, social development, which has reached to the rural area, you will find even the rural institute can work on the developing or building entrepreneurial campuses. So we can have institutions innovation council. You can anyone can develop this particular council, and for that Ministry of Education Innovation Cell that mandates and IIC in every higher education institute to run different ideation, hackathon, and boot camps. There is a provision. many of the institutions they may not be knowing, but Ministry of Education has created this platform through Institutions Innovations Council. I know majority of the students coming from migrating from rural area to urban and metro, they go and learn in education institution there and do lot of innovations. Means that spirit, that ability is there in the rural student. We need to catch hold of them at their itself. Today, I was attending one of the program in our institution, JSPM University Pune. It was a induction program. As a part of an induction program, we have a music band. And my dear professors, I have seen students coming from the rural area. They are performing excellently. So we need to incubate these ideas. Just an example here I've given. Then incubation and entrepreneurship cells, dedicated cells to mentor students from idea to prototype to a registered startup. How we can develop? Unless and until we create that culture, that ecosystem, it will not happen, and we may not be able to get the outcome of that. Seed funding and grants. You can have a linkages with Atal Innovation Mission. There's a Mudra. Then there is a lot of startup funding is there. Okay, Stand Up India is there. Startup India is there. So all these policies are there. We should try to get enrolled to those policies and start doing work. See, you teacher, we are really teachers can do wonderful things in the society, and but we have to take an attempt. Many times, because of lack of knowledge or awareness about things, we are unable to do so. So two things are very important. First, you get yourself quite aware about these policies, then show willingness to work on this and enhance your abilities. This is very important for that. And obviously, one more is industry and alumni mentorship. In wherever the people work, one of the students I have just met, he started one app, and that name of the app is Thete app. Thete app. The name of the entrepreneur is Mr. Sarang Mane, and he's an avionics engineer. But he has understood that there is a possibility of business in the agriculture with the help of drone, and now he's working pan India. And how he's getting the support of industry, alumni mentorship passive. So a structure mentor network we need to create through industry and our mentors. Collaborate with the industry, collaborate with the institute, and develop these all things. Recently, I got to know that you must be knowing Mr. Anand Deshpande, who is a managing director and owner of Persistence. He said that in future we don't require more job seekers, we require job providers, because we require more and more business doing hands, because this is the need of the world, isn't it? And that's why this NEP, this curriculum, we need to properly ask out there. And these are, as I told you sometime before, these are the national skills that reinforce NEP's startup vision. There's a startup India is there, where tax benefits are there, easier compliance and funding support for registered student startup. Atal Innovation Mission is there, Atal Tinkering Labs and incubation centers. They foster innovation from school to university. It is not only in university, in the school also. Stand Up India and Mudra. These are collateral free loans to encourage first generation entrepreneurs, including women's and youth. And as I said, you NRF, National Research Foundation, seed funding for research that can be translated into deployable market ready innovation. So there are policy enablers to reinforce National Education Policy 2020, and we all should take benefit onto that, irrespective to which program you are teaching, which domain you are teaching. And for that, research ecosystem at different level, as we said, we have to have a joint curriculum design with industry advisory board. This university can do, autonomous institute can do, and even affiliated institute can have some credit courses. We call audit courses based upon that. You can appoint adjunct faculty or professor of practice from industry. You can sponsor industry relevant research project. You can have a technology business incubators, and you can have a placement, apprenticeship, and entrepreneurship pipeline, which is there into the place at government of India level, government of respective state level, including the state of Maharashtra. And that's why here industry academia collaboration is very important when we go for this particular task as such. And this is how for all of us it's very important that we are the architect of this transformation. In nutshell, we as a faculty, we are enablers. We can only do so. Okay. So NEP 2020's employment and entrepreneurship goal succeed or fail at the classroom level, it all depends upon you and me. And yes, as I said to you, we may have to take a lot of efforts. But remember, my dear professor, you are architect of this transformation. Forgot that you are working in which demography, in which domain of education. We have to develop these abilities among the students by working day and night. And now the platform is provided by NEP and the curriculum. So mentor them, not just lecture. Guide students towards internships, projects, startup idea, and not only examination, and examination. We need to bring a innovative pedagogy, innovative methodology into that aspect. And that's why redesign pedagogy, adopt experimental, project based, and multidisciplinary teaching methods. How economics, how psychology, how sociology, how chemistry, how physics, how accounting is having a multiple application in different fields. That is how you have to demonstrate them through the experiential learning, through using variety of the teaching tools as such. Build industry bridges. You have to take the help of your university, your local state government, and you have to facilitate MOUs, guest lectures, live project, and mentorship networks. It's very important. People will come forward. I'm telling you frankly. Good number of people are ready to come and work, which I'm experiencing. I'm experienced in last 42 years of my education. Nobody said no to me till today, my dear professor. For any MOU, any invitation, they will not say no. Sometimes they even don't expect any honorarium too. And of course, you have to champion the innovation. Encourage students to enter Institute Innovation Cell activities, hackathon, and incubation cell. We have to make our campus vibrant. I know there are different social and economical issues are there, but my dear professors, the future of our country, and if I don't exaggerate, even entire globe, because India is the population where youngest are more as compared to the rest of world. So our younger generation has to provide a lot of services worldwide and globally. That's why we have to prepare. So our purpose is that self-development of students, development of their family, their community, their society, and to the contribute to the economic and social development at a national and global level. That journey will begin provided we architect this transformation to a greater extent as such. So, what you can do is from classroom to startup, a typical NEP journey. Semester 3 makes student to take multidisciplinary minor in entrepreneurship along with their core major. Semester 5, join the campus incubation cell, develop a prototype under faculty entrepreneurship. In semester 7, win seed grant via Atal Motivation Mission Linkage and register as a startup. And for post graduation, you can run a very functioning venture and now employs fellow graduates. So, this is possible, my dear professors. I'm just giving you how we can do, and this has happened in my university. This is not a hypothetical example. This is not a hypothetical example. My student of second year has employed student of their own classmates. This we can make an attempt to do so all. Of course, there are challenges which everywhere we will find. Everywhere you will find that there are challenges, that faculty readiness is very important. Many teachers also need training in new pedagogy, mentoring, and industry linkages call. We also require some infrastructure gaps, labs, incubation space, digital tools, and very importantly, mindset shift is required. The mindset need to be shifted, moving from marks driven to skills and outcome driven evaluation. That's very important. Not on the routine or what we can say rote learning. We have to go from outcome based learning as such. And funding continuity is very important. As I told you, many people go and make funding into this particular task and where we need to work. So these challenges are there. This is my honest reflection, and we must address these point challenges together as such. So our roadmap, we have discussed, we talked. Of course, this is just 1.5 hour discussion time given to me. Of course, time is yet to finish, but I'm just saying you at this part. Whatever I presented, it talks about call to action. What should be our roadmap? What every department can do now? And when I'm saying every department, you, my professor, dear professor, we have joined to this particular program, how you can really contribute, how you can start your journey. And now you are ambassadors. When you go back to your institute, you have to help your colleagues, your own department, and entire institute to take a call to action. Number one, map existing courses to multidisciplinary and skill-based electives. Excuse me, 1 minute, please. Sir. Huh. हो मी 4:30 तुम्हाला कॉल करून सांगतो. थँक्यू. I'm sorry, my dear professors. So, first of all, you have to map existing courses to multidisciplinary and skill-based electives. Please do this very rigorously. If you want to conduct a workshop, I will be there with you. You can contact me. My details are there with Dr. Rafi sir, with HRDC. We can do this particular type of the workshop. Nominate faculty coordinators for the institution innovation council. You have to do that. Formalize at least 2 industry MOU per department this year. And please excuse me, I don't want MOU that I have seen during NAC. I want functional MOU, collaborative MOU onto working which will benefit for the employment and entrepreneurship. Introduce a credit bearing internship apprenticeship in every program. If you are autonomous and if you are a university, you can do so. And if at all you are affiliated, you can also implement this with proper academic body approvals. But you can go through this particular process. Encourage every final year cohort to pitch one venture idea. Make it compulsory. Make it compulsory and register students which you must have done on the academic bank of credit which already you must have done. So I want you people to work rigorously on this roadmap, which is the initial roadmap which will take to our problem onto the part what we have decided as such. To conclude my first part of presentation, my second part of presentation will be very small. So what we talk in conclusion that NEP 2020 is not merely a policy document. It is an invitation to every teacher to reimagine the classroom as the first step toward students' career and enterprise. And that's why focus build into every curriculum employability, either through the curriculum or pedagogy. Nurture on every campus entrepreneurship and translate everything into real impact through research. The best way to predict the future is to create it. And let us prepare our students to build it. So, my dear professor, I know we are going through different challenges. We have a lot of agenda before us, but now we need to rethink. I always say, I remember all the time of Gautam Buddha ji. Gautam Buddha once says, he's he has many, given many type of quotes. One of the quote of Gautam Buddha, which I like very much, he says, hey man, where are you going? Where are you going? Please stop. Come back. Look backward. Why you are on this planet? What is the purpose of life? Don't fly. Don't fly. So, my dear professor, I also say on the same line as the great Gautam Buddha ji said that no, we have to come back, look to the back, why our teaching profession is there, and how really we can contribute to the student development and to the nation development, which in turn will make us a Vikasita Bharat 2047 as such. Thank you so much. So let's build institution where every graduate is either job ready or job creating. With this, I stop my first part of the presentation, and I request you, if you have some questions, quickly you can put in the chat box if some questions are there. Acha, your attendance is going on. Okay, fine. What I could see is only attendance parts. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Any question? Would you like to add to the? You want to add in the chat box? You can add so.
Sir, I have unmuted the participant. Participants,
Okay,
आप लोग
no.
unmute कर सकते हो अभी अपने माइक ओपन कर सकते हो आप अगर कोई प्रश्न है आपके सर से.
Or yes, they can put in the chat
No,
box.
I have given the permission, sir.
Very good, very good.
Yes, roll number 55. Participants, if you have any questions, आपके कोई प्रश्न है तो आप सर से पूछ सकते हो. आपको माइक अनम्यूट करने की अनुमति है, अभी परमिशन है.
Yes, no questions.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes, yes, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah, yes, sir. There is a question in chat box. I just read that. How can NEP 2020 be implemented effectively without increasing the workload of teachers?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a very wonderful and important question. My dear professor, we have to only change the pedagogy. Our workload will not get increased. Okay, I'm telling you frankly, what is happening, we are not working together at a department level, at institute level. We have to synergize our entire curriculum. Since we are looking as an individual course curriculum or individual course teacher, instead of that, if you work together, you can design a program plan, you can develop a institution plan. We have an academic calendar, but suppose for example I have a become one of the program which I'm offering. Can my all teachers of become together come together and work on preparing a very innovative teaching plan, not lesson plan, innovative teaching plan, wherein through experiential learning, through case studies, through internship, student can learn. We need to take some initially some efforts in that direction. Then definitely it is possible, and we can definitely work on to that.
Thank
Yes.
you, sir.
Any more? Yeah, yeah, yeah. If no question, I'll go to the next presentation quickly because hardly 15 to 20 minutes are left with me. So, friends, obviously, for all these things, what is required is a leadership, and that leadership on which we have to talk about. We have to be more onto the leadership part where we will have more into the task. So, whatever I said you sometime before, it was obviously for the employment and entrepreneurship. And why it is all this? Because of Vikasit Bharat 2047. And that is why we require educational leadership. So we all teachers, you may be assistant professor, senior assistant professor, few of you might be associate professor. All we required is a educational leadership, and that is where we are really want to walk. So I will quickly, briefly, with the available time of 15 to 20 minutes, I will focus on these ideas. What I mean to say, as we have seen before, the last slide was talking about the teachers are architect of this transformation. So architect has to be a leader and he has to take initiative. He has to innovate. And when we have to innovate and he has to really develop, lead the entire institution, how we can really perform. My dear professors, I feel really proud to tell you, not as my own CV, my friend who is the assistant director, Dr. Rafi, know about my story. I was just a lecturer those days. And I also come from a rural area. My basic education till 12th standard happened in the Bede, Balbim College Bede that time. But then when we went to we got good teachers, we got good mentorship, and because of that, good number of degrees, good number of opportunities, and now I could reach to this particular position. But always, though I am on this position, I have not forget my past. I always look backward, and backward means backside. I see how is really I develop, and now can I help my institution, my teacher colleagues, my student to develop onto that. And with that spirit and with that philosophy, I am present before you, my dear professor, and I feel therein educational leadership is very important. And on this task, we are going to talk about this that this NEP, which we talks about the aspect, very importantly, this entire policy is rooted in the intent. What is the intent? We want sustainable development. We want action oriented. We don't want only rote learning, practical strategies which we can apply. We want sustainability linked. So, all is that this is what we talked about. So, how is this? What kind of leader must I become to help my institution to meet 2047? That is where we want to talk about all of this in today's agenda. So, what was the NEP vision and foundational pillars, which already we have seen? Then, what is Vikasit Bharat at 2047 agenda and milestones? Then, what is the role of educational leadership? Then, what are if these are the roles and competencies, what should be the institutional strategies for implementation? And to happen all this, how we should develop ourselves, self-development for successful leadership. And equally, we have to focus on sustainable development goals. So friends, quickly in next 15 to 20 minutes, based upon your entire program and my previous lecture, I quickly want to address some of these points. I'll just briefly mention you. Now, when we talk about 2020 and 2047, in 2020, National Education Policy adopted, which was first measure overall in 34 years. Okay. 65% of India's population is below the age of 35. As I said sometime before, we have a engaged generation. We have the engaged generation. On the 100th year of independence, the target year for Vikasit Bharat 2047, we really want to have do perform excellently and become $5 trillion economy by size with education as a core enabler, not by only this and that aspect, but with the soft, that is our knowledge, core knowledge. So India stands at a rare convergence point, a sweeping policy reform, a demographic advantage, and declared national vision, all pointing toward the same 25-year runway. So we have to work on these dash, and we want to become a $5 trillion economy, and that too with a education as a core enabler. Understand your and my role as an education leader. Now, what NEP 2020 vision and foundation talks about that. I will not go into the detail, but already we talked about the aspect that this focus on access, equity, quality, and accountability. Already we discussed. These we say these are the four foundational pillars of our aspect. Of course, fifth pillar is a affordability, which is of course been taken by access into this part of this. So this is a NEP 2020 at a glance as such. You know the new school structure 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. Earlier, 10 plus 2 structure with a curricular and pedagogical framework is now allied to cognitive development stages. How बच्चों की ग्रोथ होती है, बच्चों का माइंड फिजिक कैसा डेवलप होता है, उसी पे बेस पे हमारा न्यू 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 स्कूल स्ट्रक्चर है. Foundational age 3 to 8, Anganwadi, preschool, and grade 1 and 2. At the age 8 to 11, preparatory school, grade 3, 4, 5. Age 11 to 14, middle stage, grade 6, 7, 8. And at secondary stage, age 14 to 18, grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. So now our new school structure is based more on cognitive development stages. And as I said before, at the age of 11, when student is at grade 6, vocational education begins. So that ability we are trying to develop. And here we are not developing rote learners, but we are also developing the well qualified, educated, intelligent peoples in different domain as such. Now, when we talk about key higher education reforms, which already we have discussed, quickly we will take. There's a multidisciplinary institution, flexible degree structure. Now there's a single regulator. Very soon, in the last parliamentary session, our National Higher Education Commission has been approved. There will be a single regulator. There's a lot of research push is happened. There's even lot of promotion is given and internationalization of the higher education. And not only that, mother tongue instructions has been promoted in different areas. Means to say that these are the key higher education reforms, and then we as a teacher of higher education institution, we must demonstrate our leadership.
बाप
Our
यांशी फुटतील बरं का, पण ही चिरवणाची झाडात असते ना वरती तीन
please mute yourself. So you have to blend your leadership. You have to blend your teaching pedagogy, your curriculum, learning experiences, institutions, so that you provide a real leadership in the field of education. There's a lot of pedagogic shift is happening. In the pedagogic shift, there's a focus on holistic and multidisciplinary education, which already I have discussed with you. Now, for example, from fixed subject stream to flexible subject choice, rote memorism to critical thinking and inquiry, single specialization to there are major, there are minors, there are electives, and not marks only assessment. There's a 360-degree holistic report card. We need to understand this shift is from rigid, shallow discipline to flexible learning, and that is where we have to develop. And when we talk about this, then how we can really contribute, how we can be leaders in the higher education as a teacher, employment and entrepreneurship to make Vikasit Bharat 2047 can be an agenda for this particular session as well. Now, when we talk about Vikasit Bharat 2047, please mute yourself. Some participants have unmuted their mic. Please mute. My
Yes,
request
sir, I
to
have
mute
muted
your.
them. I have muted them.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. So we need to understand that what is really Vikasit Bharat. So Vikasit Bharat is a national vision for India to become fully developed nation by the 100th year of independence. Economically strong, socially just, technologically advanced, and globally influential. Keep in mind, this is a citizenship, this is a patriotism which we'll have to see, and we want to become a global leader. And for that, we have set certain target. One, we want really a trillion economy. We talk about 5 to 30 plus trillion economy. We want, very importantly for you and me, a knowledge and innovation led society, universal quality education and
Thete
healthcare.
आले का घरी?
These,
कारण ती
these
येणार
are
होती घ्यायला म्हणून.
these are the targets. These are the targets that we have set. Then environmental sustainability is at the core, and education as the primary enabler for growth. So, based on these vision of Vikasit Bharat 2047, education role is very important. Universities and colleges are the engine rooms of Vikasit Bharat. Please keep in mind, my dear professor, producing the human capital, research, and innovation that a developed nation needs. Educational leadership is therefore not administrative convenience, it is nation building. That is why I say now teachers are getting our own original status. People used to call teacher as a Nobel professionals. Now we are going to become a Nobel professional because now teacher role is a leadership role, and these are nation builder. And in that context, we'll have to work on to this. And that's why this pancha pran of these 5 pledges of this aspect, which are articulated on Dependence Day 2022, the pancha pran give the Vikasit Bharat vision is to guiding value, develop India, remove colonial mindset. We want to erase every trace of colonial mindset in institutions and even their outlook. Pride in heritage. We want to take pride in India's roots, culture, and civilization legacy that we have. Unity and solidarity. Strengthen unity among all citizens of India. And very important is duty. Fulfill one's duty, including as a citizen, teachers, and leaders. Friends, I always say to my all teachers, my students, and I'm really honestly presenting before you also, I never, as an Indian, I never talk of any caste, any religion, any language for that matter, because we required to bring unity and solidarity. So nothing about religion, nothing about the caste, nothing about the languages. We are one. And with that duty, with that kartavya, we have to work, and that we need to imbibe into the students. This is something challenging to all of us. That when we have a dream of Vikasit Bharat 2047, how we can bring this Pancha Pran of a developed India, remove colonial mindset, pride in heritage, and unity and solidarity and duty of our Kartavya as such. That we need to develop amongst ourselves and even our teachers. And that's why education leadership is very important. And that's why we talked about the roadmap for 2047. And now we have crossed 2025. In 2030, we want our gross enrollment ratio to be targeted to 50%. We are planning for multidisciplinary higher education at mainstream, very important part of that. By 2035, India among top global knowledge and research fronts. So that is what will be the hub for that. And that's why internationalization has been already started. And by 2047, we want Vikasit Bharat. See, friends, this is a vision for all of us. A proper roadmap is given to this. Milestones have been placed. We all need to work together through our education institution because teachers are nation builders as such. And that's why the role of universities and higher education in Vikasit Bharat is very important. And that role, if I have to in briefly mention, is human capital. Means what? Producing employable, ethical, future ready graduates at scale. What we discussed in the previous session, employability and entrepreneurship. So human capital need to be developed. So employability, ethics, future ready graduates at scale we need to develop, not 10%, 20%, 30%, but at scale. Knowledge creation, driving research and innovation relevant to national priorities. Go to the document of Vikasit Bharat 2047. In every domain, under each ministry, they have made a vision document for the Vikasit Bharat 2047. How we can create a knowledge creation into that area. Community engagement, extension activities that carries expertise into society. We need to involve or get our student engaged with the community. Let community also develop, get student get involved into the community, and the extension activity that will carry the expertise into the society which is going to develop in the Vikasit Bharat. And very importantly, elevating India's standing in global ranking and partnership. That is how we talk about global position. We are all opening on to that aspect, and therein we have to have a. This should be a institutional mandate. We all need to think on that. We should not be only degree producing institutions, industries. We want to work on these different role of universities on which we want to develop. And hence, to just as a educational leadership, I just say that why this educational leadership matters. Policy sets the direction. NEP 2020 has set the direction. Vikasit Bharat 2047 has set the direction. Leadership determines whether it reaches the classroom. NEP 2020 ambition will be realized or stalled at the level of institutional leadership. And that's why, as a leader, how it is, how this is matter to the educational leader, translate policy into practice. As I said you before, manage change and resistance. One of my participant colleague asked the question about the teaching load. No, there is no change in the load. It is we have to manage the change, and this resistance also we need to manage so that we can build faculty with new curriculum, new credit system, and assessment pattern. Drive quality and accreditation is very important. So this is our role. How we can matter? We have to drive quality in every aspect. Accreditation is one of the vehicle to reach to an equality. But going beyond that, you can work onto that. Foster innovation culture, which we talked just now. Builds partnership. We need to have a partnership with many institutions, many industry and organization, India and beyond. Shape institutional well-being, which is very important. The institute culture, work culture, which is sometimes is really finding very difficult. That culture need to be developed. A conducive culture need to be developed because we are not only an organization, not an institution. We are the really creators of the nations. We are education leaders, and on that point, we need to work onto that. And that's why we have to have a different qualities of transformational educational leaders. Based upon this, the leadership traits that you should try to build if you don't have is a vision, integrity, innovation, collaboration, adaptability, very important, empathy, respecting each and every, accountability, and very important, courage, because there's a huge target before us. How we can do so? You will find a lot of up and downs, and but how those challenges, how you come out there. So these leadership traits are very important for all of us to work onto that, and that's why we have to move from leadership styles which are relevant to the NEP implementation. We want every one of you transformational leadership. You must be able to transform. You must be able to distribute, delegate the task, spread leadership across the faculty team, committees, servant leadership, prioritize the growth and well-being of faculty and students. We have to provide services and adaptive leadership, adjust approaches to fit uncertain, fast changing situations. So, these different leadership styles we need to develop relevant to NEP and Vikasit Bharat 2020. And for that, you should have a institutional strategies, turning NEP into a campus realities. You can have a strategic planning cycle for institution. Envision, plan, implement, monitor, and improve. This simple framework, if you could implement, you can strategically develop for the institution target as such. Curriculum reform and flexibility. Here also, you need to work on pedagogy as well as curriculum reform. As I said, digital transformation of teaching and governance, not only in teaching Swayam Prabha, Diksha, National Digital Education Architecture, having an institute, ERP and Academic Bank of Credit. This governance should also go, this strategy we have to adopt. Building research innovation ecosystem, which already we talked about on this aspect. Then internationalization and multilingualism. So multilingual education we need to part, and internationalization of education. How you can collaborate, how your education with either credit transfer or adopting the curriculum or student faculty exchange, how you can go into that part also we need to talk. Skill development and vocation. These are all, my dear professor, we need to work as a strategies for going for NEP. And if you have to go for that, very important is self-development for successful leadership. And my dear professors, a self-development framework which generally we follow, stay current, policy literacy, pedagogy, research, data fluency. So your cognitive domain has to be very much enriched with being always staying in current things. Similarly, you should be have build self-awareness, resilience, and emotional regulations is very important. Strengthen networking, mentoring, and communication skills for social development, social growth, and obviously anchor decisions in integrity, in fairness, and institutional values, that is ethically part. So the very importantly, we which all these four aspects, you just see where you are, suppose say you need to develop, what are those development aspects for that, where you can work or where you require to in future, in 6 months, 1 year, you will work. Suppose I'm not good in emotional or I'm not good in ethical, can I work on to that? This personal growth, we need to talk about that. And obviously we should go for a continuous professional development with structured programs, peer learning, reflective practices, exposures and experiments, exchanges, whatever happens. Minimum 50 hours per year, minimum recommended for continuous professional development for every faculty. So, friends, this is how we can go and work onto that. I know time is up. Sometimes I will come back and I will talk
Sir,
to you
8 minutes,
more.
8 minutes still are there. You can continue, no problem.
Okay, okay, okay,
8 minutes
okay.
are there.
8 minutes are there. Sorry, I was just searching for you only. Where are you?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I
that
am
I
there.
can.
What we will do, sir, you can conclude after 8 minutes. We will start the university song and the banner. I will just brief out the course. After that, you give
Okay,
your address and you can leave, no problem, sir.
okay, fine, fine.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you. Okay. So let me once again go to my presentation so that if something is missed, I can share with you. So when we talk about this building institutional culture and governance, it's very beyond the individual. So one what we saw, this was about self-development, and the self-development, this is the framework for leaders, this is the framework, and this is the personal growth. If something is meeting, go for continuous development, CPD, 50 hours a year to meet the target. Now when we do so, it's very important that sometimes you have to see beyond the individuals. Building institutional culture and governance. Personal growth compounds into institutional strength only when leaders also build systems, culture, and share the ownership. And for that, we have to focus on ethical governance, okay? Participative culture, institutional autonomy, systems thinking, recognition systems which are missing, and inclusive well being. So, beyond the individual, we should try to develop a organization. I need not tell you, my dear professors, I did not tell you, but as you understand, when we have seen the institution, they are only, please excuse me, they are only being dying because of the some politics. I will not say whether it's a dirty politics or good politics. Ethics are being missing. Very few in the institutions are working. All are not being participated. We don't think holistically as a system point of view. We don't appreciate anybody. We don't take everyone together. So, to build a institutional culture and governance, we should have a ethical governance, transparent decision making. Conflict of interest should be safeguarded. Faculty and student voice in institution decision making is must. And for all these, very importantly, aligning these all departments, committees, and processes toward the shared goals. As I said you in the first session, how we can really make students employable and entrepreneurs, that if goal is present, entire systematic approach, system thinking, holistic approach will be possible. And then recognizing, rewarding the teachers, students for their excellence. And obviously, we have to take everyone together so that the equity is mentioned. Equitable workforce is properly been entirely addressed as equally as important is a sustainable development goals. I need not tell you all those 17 sustainable development goals, but especially sustainable development goal 4 globally, which has been appreciated, quality education. That quality education, we need to totally focus on to that. So, which talks about equal access to affordable technical, vocational, and higher education. Sustainability should substantially increase the number of youth and adults with relevant skills, eliminate gender disparities, and ensure access for the vulnerables, and build and upgrade inclusive and safe learning facilities. This is quality education. So, ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all is SDG 4 under the title Quality Education, and we need to work on that. This goal anchored to our institution as such, and you will find NEP 2020 is also aligned map with SDG. If we talk about quality education, we'll talk about definitely with universal education, with a multidisciplinary, we are trying to enrich the quality education. Gender equity, which is SDG 5, gender inclusion funds, equity focus for girls and transgenders students. SDG 8, decent work and growth, vocational education, skilling, entrepreneurship support, that is being also addressed in NEP. SDG 9, industry and innovation, National Research Foundation, industry academia linkages, SDG 10, reduce inequalities, special education zones, scholarship for disadvantaged groups, and SDG 7, partnerships. We talk about focus on internationalization, public private internship, partnership, all that we talked about that. So you will observe that we are not only talking about sustainable development goal, Vikasit Bharat, or employment and entrepreneurship, but equally we talk about sustainable development goal, and these are all addressed by the NEP 2020 into that, and that you can very well address into the part of the our aspect in when we do the activity. So here a collaborative leadership across the stakeholder is very important. No leader delivers Vikasit Bharat alone. Effective leadership means converging these voices, aligning incentives, and sharing accountability for outcomes across the whole ecosystem. Faculty, students, management, UGC, commission, industry, community, global partner, all we have to cover, and leader is at the center. So all these we have to work, and then accordingly we can develop a action plan. So here again to you, 90-day action plan. First 30 days, audit your department against NEP provision, identify 2 3 quick wins into that. So diagnosis will be done. Then draft a mini strategy, that is curriculum tweak or continuous professional development plan or LTG linked project. Next 30 days you can do. And then last, deliver. Pilot one initiative, gather feedback, and share learning with peers. So likewise, you need to prepare a planned aspect into that. So the key takeaways is NEP 2020 give India's education system a bold, holistic, and new direction. Vikasit Bharat at 2047 is the national vision, and this policy ultimately serves. Institutional leadership is the decisive factor between policy and practice. Strategy must span curriculum, digital tools, research, and skilling. Leadership begins with discipline, self development, not just authority. SDGs offer a practical global lens for measuring what truly matters. So, friends, let's lead the journey of Vikasit Bharat 2047, one classroom, one institution at a time, and we can work and go ahead in the process of your entire education journey as such. So, in nutshell, in nutshell, if Dr. Rafe sir allows me, I will just conclude.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So, my dear friends, dear professor, I think Dr. Gajanan Sarma sir has joined. Oh, great. Sir, welcome, sir. Sir, welcome. So he's moderating my session. He's there. I'm very happy that because we have worked together, and I know his potential and his concern for education, and we have worked, and I think with the same philosophy, we are also working in this area. So, teacher, as a friend, all of you, I will only say always when I talked about my introduction, and many times I talk about my experience in education, which is 42 years. But more than that, what I'm really happy to share with you, at every stage of my experience, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. Even I should thanks Dr. Rafe sir, Dr. Dhanashree Mahajan ma'am, HRDC Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, giving me different topic and getting me prepared to deliver. So that also create an insight. So we as a teacher, very importantly, is really required to innovate nowadays. Our pedagogy must change, drastically change. We must shift on the digitalization, more and more digitalization, using digital tool. And we need to understand, because I travel pan India, I have seen even I have seen today, there are a lot of poor people, there are unprivileged societies there, disadvantaged groups are there. How we as a teacher, maybe towards our social responsibility, how we can contribute to that. And that contribution is nothing in the terms of monetary, in terms of money, but how we can educate them, develop them skills. And you can use your institute platform, university platform, and you can make really our country to be a developed nation by 2047. When I'm interacting with the students, very importantly, I remember two versions. As I told you in the very beginning of my session, that I am the witness of 4 to 5 educational policy. I took birth as a teacher when there was a first education policy, 1968. After 4 years of my age as a teacher came new education policy, 1984, could not implemented for certain reason. Then it was transferred to program of action, 1988. Still, of course, we tried to improve. Then came Dr. Sam Pitroda's National Knowledge Commission. Everywhere, first education policy, Kothari Commission. Kothari Commission start their report saying that the destiny of the nations are being shaped in the four walls of the classrooms. It means no experiential learning, no practical learning, no internship, and there's a rote learning, theoretical inputs. When I entered to 1984 and 1988 action, there we slightly go to a digitalization. But we observe there's a rigidity in the curriculum. We observe that all sectors of the community were not addressed properly. And then when under Sam Pitroda, National Knowledge Commission report was was been put on forth, there are two recommendations. And one of the question was which was answered by the National Knowledge Commission was why students are not attracted to the higher education was rigid education. No freedom to the student to select the courses, no practical relevance, only theoretical assessment, and even pedagogy was not up to the mark. This was one of the observation. Second observation was very important, the gap between industry and academia. And my dear professors, in last 42 years, right from day one, I'm very closely working with the community, with industry, with the business and organization. And I'm very happy and confident to say that NEP 2020 will definitely guide we all teacher to take our student, to take our nation to the Vikasita Bharat 2047. So let us, we all together, strive for that, build better to serve better. And over to you. Thank you so much once again for inviting me to this particular session. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Uh, Thank you, sir. So, on behalf of this entire group, my special thanks to Honorable Vice Chancellor of GSPM University, Professor Ajit Thete, sir, for sparing his valuable time in this session. but still we are not over with him, as now we have been joined by two of the dignitaries for the valedictory session. We have today with us Professor Dr. Gajanan Sanap sir, Honorable Management Council member of our university, as already told by Professor Ajit Thete sir, a person with a vast teaching and administrative experience in the field of higher education, have worked a lot for solving the problem of students and teachers in the university campus as well as state and national level. So we are really fortunate that Honorable Management Council member Professor Dr. Gajanan Sanap sir have spared his valuable time and have accepted our invitation, and he has been here as a chief guest. So I welcome him on behalf of this entire group. Also, we have been joined by our director of this Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Dean Faculty of Humanities of our university, Professor Dhanashri Mahajan ma'am. So I would now request Amol to start the university song and the banner.
गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे,
गीत आमुचे सागराचे, इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे, गीत आमुचे जागराचे, गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे, गीत आमुचे सागराचे, इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे, गीत आमुचे जागराचे.
अभंगाचे ओवीचेही माय बोलीचे माहेर,
वाऱ्यातही मराठीचे दिवे लख घरोघर. संत महंतांचे विरागी, गीत आमुचे कातळाचे, इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे, गीत आमुचे जागराचे. तंतु तंतु संघर्षाचा पैठणीत भिनलेला,
नक्षीतच पक्षी पक्षी विजयाचा मिळलेला.
सोन पहाट उदयाचे, गीत आमुचे उजेडाचे, इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे, गीत आमुचे जागराचे. प्रज्ञेचा सूर्य नवा, शब्द शब्द उजळून गेला, समतेचा संगराचा अर्थ ढाळून गेला. विराट विशाल संस्कृतीचे गीत आमुचे जीवनाचे, इतिहासाचे जन
you, Amol. You can stop the university song. So, on behalf of this group of 37th NEP Orientation and Sensitization course, I welcome today's chief guest, Dr. Gajanan Sanap sir, guest of honor, Dr. Ajit Thete sir, and president of this function, Professor Dr. Dhanishri Mahajan ma'am. This is the 37th NEP Orientation and Sensitization course being conducted by UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. An 8 days working course. The journey of this course was started on 17th of August, and Dr. Syed Azharuddin sir, Dean Faculty of Commerce, has inaugurated and has delivered a talk in this session. On the very next day, Professor Satish Patil sir, Principal of SBAS College of Science, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, he delivered a talk. On Wednesday, that is 19th August, Professor T. Tripathi, who is from Department of Zoology, School of Life Science, Nehu, Shillong, he delivered a talk. On Thursday, we had the Director Board of Exam and Evaluation of our university, Professor B. N. Dole sir, he delivered a talk. And on Friday, last day of the first week, Dr. Anju Sarvesh Brahma, she is the principal of Seth Hirachand Mukta College at Mumbai, he delivered a talk. On the very next week, first day, Dr. Vinod Singh Yadav, who is the Deputy Secretary in University Grants Commission, he delivered a talk. And on Tuesday, Dr. Muhammad Atiq, he delivered a talk. He is the Director of Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center at Sant Gadge Baba Amravati University. And today we had the first half session of Dr. Ajit Thete sir. So it was really a nice journey of 8 working days, and I hope that all the participants will take something in their bags to be delivered to their colleagues and to the society. So, not taking much time, I would now request Dr. Ajit Thete sir to deliver a guest of honor address to all of us. Over to you, Dr. Thete sir. I think that he has lost a connection. Just I will have a call to him. So within a minute, Thete sir will be available with us. So he will deliver his guest of honor address. I would now request Professor Thete sir to deliver a guest of honor address to all of us. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. The director of the HRDC, Dr. Dhanishri Mahajan ma'am, Assistant Director, Dr. M.A. Rafi sir, our Honorable Management Council member, Dr. Gajanan Sanap sir, all my dear colleagues, it's really a pleasure interacting with you. Education has remained a passion in my life, and I understand that there's a long way to go. And as we discussed in the previous couple of sessions, the role of teacher is going to be very important. I'm very honestly speaking to you. Even I said during my previous session, somewhere I'm concerned about the today's work culture, and to be very specific, the institute culture. On one side, we have a big responsibility of developing the nation. We are looking, we are dimming from the Vikasit Bharat 2047. We have given a platform of NEP 2020, wherein through that platform, we can very easily but strategically achieve that goal of Vikasit Bharat 2047. But I think there's a lack of leadership. And that leadership issue we need to properly address. And as I said in my presentation also, we everyone need to properly get up with the present curriculum requirement, present NEP requirement, and we should contribute in the development of the student. This is not the only development of the student for the employment, but what we call as a holistic development of the student. So, holistic development of the student, which will shape student future, career, and life, and that required, truly speaking, a synergic efforts are required for that. Only one man cannot do this particular activity. We need to work in a team and stay in touch with what are the current developments are there, what current research practices are there, what type of pedagogy is there. People talk about Gen Z. I never talk about Gen Z because Gen Z is your interpretation. We interpret and we try to take excuse out of that. No, it is as a teacher, it is our duty to properly guide and mentor the student because even we know, I know when I was going through the schools, I know I was not very serious in the school. I was not treated as a good student during my school education. But we need to require somebody eye opener who will tell you what is really a purpose of education, purpose of life, and purpose of career. And I think this is the right time that we all together have to strive for these aspects and demonstrate excellent leadership. I know that I'm being attached with the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, since many years. I know very, even specifically HRDC. They are through every program they are trying to build a competent teachers, and I think we need to take the advantage of that. And as been described in the my presentation, we should continuously go on developing our profession. This should be our own mission. We should have our own. I always say that as we say that the institution has got a mission and vision and core values, we should also set our vision. What is our mission? What are our core values? Because we are different. Remember, we are different. We are teachers. Ours is a noble profession. And now you have visualized, you have experienced that the teacher has got a power to transform the country to a globalized level, to a global level, to the Vikasit Bharat 2047. I'm sure I have already given you an invitation from my side through our HRDC. You invite me anytime. We will come and we will discuss from micro level to macro level. For rural institution, for the semi-urban institution, for humanities, for commerce. But we need to work for each and every program, every domain, and see that our country develop and become Vikasit Bharat 2047. Once again, my sincere thanks to Dr. Dhanashri ma'am, to Dr. Rafe sir, and even to Dr. Gajanan Sanam sir for being a part of this particular program. And to my all teacher delegate, I wish you all the best. And I'm sure you will work with different zeal and spirit after this orientation program and be act as a ambassador not only for yourself, but for yourself, your department, your institute, your university, and our nation. Thank you so much. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I would now request Honorable Management Council member of our university, Dr. Gajanan Sanap, sir, to deliver a valedictory address to all of us. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Respected Chairperson, Professor Dhanashri Mahajan ma'am, today's guest of honor, my mentor, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of the JSPM University, Pune, Professor Dr. Ajit Thete ji, course coordinator, my friend, Dr. Mohammad Rafe sir. Good afternoon to everyone. for the past 10 days, the NAP orientation course has been conducted online, and it is wonderful to see all of you coming together from different universities to participate in this program. I hope that over these 10 days, your understandings and concepts regarding NAP and its various dimensions have become much clearer and more comprehensive. It is privilege to be here today and to share my thoughts on a subject that is extremely important for the future of Indian higher education, the National Education Policy and Indian Knowledge System. Let me begin with a simple but fundamental question. What kind of education do you want to provide to the young generation of India? Do you want our students merely to earn degrees and secure jobs? Or do we want them to become knowledge creator, critical thinker, innovators, entrepreneurs, responsible citizens, and lifelong learners? I believe NEP 2020 provides a clear vision for the second approach. NEP 2020 is not simply a document about changing syllabus or introducing new courses. It represents shifts in the philosophy, structures, and delivery of education in India. Its vision is to create an education system that is holistic, flexible, multidisciplinary, inclusive, innovative, skill-oriented, research-driven, and rooted in the Indian values. Its vision is to create an education system that is holistic, root learning. Decades, our education system has often been associated with examinations and marks only. Now we have to move beyond this model, and education must develop the intellectual, emotional, social, ethical, creative, and practical abilities of the learners. Students should not merely remember information. They should learn to understand, analyze, question, apply, and create. Therefore, we need to move from root learning to conceptual understanding, from information to knowledge, from knowledge to wisdom, from teaching to learning, and finally, from examination-oriented education to completely best education. Major provisions of NEP, that is multidisciplinary education, flexibility in learning, research and innovations, skill development and employability, technology in education, that is Indian languages and Indian knowledge. These are the most important for the education and Vikasit Bharat. Ultimately, the success of NEP and IKS must be connected with the larger national vision of Vikasit Bharat. A developed India is not an economically prosperous India. It must be knowledge, technologically advanced, innovative, inclusive, sustainable, and ethically responsible India. And the foundation of such an India is our education system. Our universities must become innovation and entrepreneurship hubs. Our laboratories must become research hubs, and our classrooms must become spaces of curiosity and creativity. Dear colleagues, we are standing at an important moment in the history of Indian higher education. The real implementation of national education policy will not happen only through government notifications, regulations, or institutional committees. It will happen in our classrooms. It will happen when a professor changes the way a subject is taught. It will happen when a student is encouraged to questions rather than memories. It will happen when research addresses a real problem. It will happen when Indian knowledge is studied with academic. Will happen when education creates not only successful professionals, but responsible human beings and responsible citizens. NEP 2020 gives us a vision. IKS gives us the roots. Modern science gives us the tools. Innovation gives us the directions. And our students gives us the future. Therefore, our education philosophy roots in the Indian knowledge, skills for the future, innovation for development, values for society, and vision for Vikasit Bharat. As the professors, our responsibility is not simply to teach the next generation. Our responsibility is to shape the next generation. We are not merely prepared students for the future. We are preparing the future to our students. And therefore, I would like to end with the transformation of education begins with the transformation of the educator. So, my dear friends, before I conclude, I would likely to express my sincere gratitude to the UGC's Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar Teachers Training Institute for inviting me be a part of this program and for giving me this valuable opportunity to interact with all of you. I'm deeply grateful for respect, honor extended to me during this program. I would especially like to place on record my sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Dhanashree Mahajan Madam, Director, Teachers Training Institute, for inviting me and for giving me this opportunity. I also sincerely thanks Dr. Mohammad Rafe sir, Program Coordinator, for his excellent coordination and for making this interaction. Appreciate the efforts taken by the entire team of the Teachers Training Institute in the organizing this program so effectively. Once again, thank you all of your gracious invitations, warm hospitality, and valuable respects. It has been a pleasure and honor to be among us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My sincere thanks to Honorable Management Council member, Professor Gajanan Sanap sir, for delivering his valedictory address and concluding this event. So, before going towards the official vote of thanks, I would now request Professor Dhanashree Mahajan ma'am to deliver a presidential remark to this valedictory function. Ma'am, unmute, ma'am.
Mute myself.
Yeah.
Yes. I think now I'm audible to
Yep.
everyone, right? So thank you, Dr. Rafe. At the outset, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ajit Thete, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of JSPM University, Pune, and also our Honorable Management Council member, Dr. Gajanan Sanap, sir, who has given such a nice valedictory address to us, enlightening us on what is the purpose of new education, national education policy, and how we as teachers are supposed to go ahead in transforming the youth of the nation. So actually, I remember what our former President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, had said. And I remember that he had once said on the eve of Teachers' Day, he said on the national television that the purpose of education is to prepare students to become autonomous learners. So actually, that is what I think is at the root of all these efforts that we are doing as teachers, and then also the Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center, what it is doing through the induction programs and the National Education Policy Orientation programs. I think that is the ultimate goal that we have actually to look forward to, where we can make the students autonomous learners. Then another thing that actually worries all of us is that in India, the unemployment rate of graduates is increasing day by day. So as compared to those who are not formally educated or who have not entered into higher education and who have not accessed higher education, their unemployment rates are very low. So this is a matter of concern, and therefore what we need is, entrepreneurship. And of course, as Gajanan Sanap sir rightly said, and as our chief guest Honorable Dr. Thete sir also said, what lies as foundation of all this endeavor that we make is innovation, and how we prepare. Ethics is the base, I think. So education without ethics is something that cannot be imagined, and that is the direction in which we as teachers can lead the nation. Because a policy merely which is prepared in the form of a document will not be able to transform the nation, but it is only in the hands of the teachers who are dealing with the youth, because we have a demographic dividend. We have the young population in India is the highest amongst all the nations in the world, and we are dealing with these young minds. We are shaping them to become very good citizens, and we have the responsibility to show them the right path. Because as Thete sir has said that these students need somebody in the form of teachers, particularly because they are in contact with us continuously. So what is the right path for them to go ahead, become economically independent, and also become value laden? So it is only the teacher who can do that. No document will be able to do it, no government will be able to do it. So we are the torch bearers, and we should regard ourselves, we should have ourselves in our own high regard, because we are the nation builders. So with these words, I will say that it was a great thing to have all of you participants from different parts of India coming here for the uh, orientation program on national education policy. And I'm sure that you must have carried something very concrete, and definitely this will be it will be passed on to, as Sanap sir had said, it will be passed on to the colleagues and also to the students. So with this, I wish you all the best, and thank you very much for joining here our Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University's Malviya Mission Teacher Training Center. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your presidential remark to this valedictory function. Indeed, the message and objective of this NEP orientation and sensitization course will be carried forward by all these participants. Those have very eagerly attended all the sessions, and the message given to them by the resource person on all 8 working days will be carried forward to the society, to the students, and to the colleagues. And the objective of University Grants Commission for conducting this NEP orientation and sensitization will be fulfilled. So, before concluding this valedictory session, with the permission of President, I would request Amol to start the national anthem, and I would request all the persons to stand up for national anthem. सभी लोग राष्ट्रगीत के लिए खड़े रहें.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you. So, with the permission of Honorable Chief Guest as well as President of this valedictory function, I declare that this valedictory function is over, and I would now request Amol